I'm knockoff Chris Hansen. Tonight we explore the 130-year-old story of the Devil in the White City. This is H.H. Holmes on Not Dateline. Holmes was a man said to be possessed by the devil himself. His title as America's first serial killer wasn't taken lightly when he was active in the 1880s and 90s. Some sources estimate he was responsible for over 200 deaths over that period. Although he was a practicing pharmacist and student of medicine, he was no formal doctor of death. H.H. Holmes was born Herman Webster Mudgett in a small town in New Hampshire, and he had a childhood somewhat shrouded in mystery. His parents were English immigrants and devout Methodist Christians, with his father working many menial trade jobs throughout the town. There are allegations that exist that Holmes had a tendency to torture small animals and was abused by his father, but several existing first-hand accounts disprove this. Holmes went on to study medicine at the University of Michigan, indicating he was extremely smart, where he was the protege of a proud practitioner of human dissection. He also began using cadavers from the morgue to commit insurance fraud. He was also accused of abusing his wife at the time, who then left him and pretty much ghosted him, or as best as you could in the 1880s. He had already committed many counts of insurance fraud, and a lot of people were mad at him. There was also a case involving Holmes poisoning a young child while working in Philadelphia, and killing a boy in Boston, where he was quick to deny any involvement, and then fled to Chicago, then changing his name to H.H. Holmes along the way. Holmes arrived in Chicago in 1886, and soon after bought a plot of land at the corner of South Wallace Avenue and 63rd Street in the South Side neighborhood of Inglewood. His soon-to-be murder castle was constructed piece by piece from 1887 to 1892. He committed fraud again by refusing to pay the architects of the building. From an architectural standpoint, the hotel portion of the building had single-sided doors, false walls, trapdoors, airtight gas chambers, while the ground floor hosted many businesses, including Holmes's personal drugstore. Holmes's supposed intention with the building was to use it as a front for his murderous spree, whereby guests would be led into traps that would knock them dead or send them to the basement of the building, where they would be killed and cremated. He didn't have a specific signature that he would leave on his victims, but the process of killing guests was pretty much the same for each one that came. The 1893 Columbian Exposition saw a rise in tourism in Chicago, with millions flocking to the fair from all over. This brought in a demand for hotels, which Holmes used as a front for his scheme. It's estimated over 200 people were killed in his murder castle from its opening in 1892 till Holmes's initial arrest in 1894. The following is a dramatized reenactment of a typical guest experience in the Holmes Hotel. Truly shocking. Holmes left Chicago in 1894 because of an arson charge for the purpose of, you guessed it, more insurance fraud. He went to Houston and committed more fraud and murder there, then he escaped to Canada and did the same thing. But then he got cocky. He went to Philadelphia, plotting with his friend, Ben Pitzel, that Pitzel would fake his own death, Pitzel's wife would collect the insurance, and each of them would have a healthy $10,000 from the payout. What actually happened is Holmes knocked Pitzel out with chloroform and then lit his body on fire. He was soon after arrested for the murder. At his trial, Holmes claimed many things, including being possessed by the devil, that he was innocent, that he didn't commit a billion counts of fraud, etc. He was convicted of murder and hung on May 7, 1896. Holmes showed little to no remorse for any of his crimes, although he was not officially diagnosed with any mental disorder. There is, however, a small chance that Holmes never actually intended to kill anybody in his Hotel of Horrors, as newspapers at the time were known for stretching the truth and embellishing stories. The newspapers described his building as a death trap of a maze, with the intent to kill people, but that could just be the hotel was so poorly designed and built. Holmes also never stated an official modus operandi, and his castle was demolished in 1938 and was replaced by the Inglewood substation of the Chicago Post Office. Anyways, now that that's done, I better go.